Goliath. Most people familiar with the Bible know the story of David and Goliath. Their conflict is symbolic of our struggle with the enemy, the spiritual battle that some are engaged in. Perhaps the reader is also familiar with the theory of Bible codes, where hidden messages can be revealed if one uses a code to decode them. Let's try another type of code introduced prior: the meaning of the Hebrew names and words from which the English versions have been translated. An account of a conflict with Philistines involving Goliath appears in 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 17, verse 1. Now the Philistines gathered together their armies to battle, and were gathered together at Shochoh, which belongeth to Judah, and pitched, that is encamped, between Shochoh and Azekah, in Ephes-dammim. The words, their Strong's reference numbers, definitions, and roots are listed below. The definitions laid out in sequence as a proposed literal translation, which is a transliteration, are: rolling migratory, wallow in the dirt, gather, receive, destroy, consume, utterly, encampment, company, host, battle, a battle, war, fight, gather, receive, destroy, consume, utterly, entwine, shut in, fence, hedge, celebrated, of Yah, use the hand, incline, decline, dwell, grow to an end, distinction, between, among, asunder, entwine, shut in, fence, hedge, tilled, grown over, cessation, end, less than nothing, nevertheless, blood, juice of the grape, bloodshed. An interpretation can be composed that goes like this: the wandering ones who roll in the dust will be utterly destroyed. My host will consume and destroy the hedge. By my hand, the hedge will grow to an end, tilled under. They will be brought to less than nothing, as the juice of grapes. This transliteration goes hand in hand with the message of David and Goliath, that even the least among us can defeat the enemy, and its parts can also be connected to the Scriptures. 1. The wandering ones. We have seen and identified these wandering stars previously. As for roll in the dust, Genesis 3, verse 14, and the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Furthermore, Cain, the father of the Kenite, is cursed to be a vagabond/wanderer. Genesis 4, verse 14, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that find me shall slay me. 2. Utterly destroyed. Exodus 23, verse 20, behold, I send an angel before thee, to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. 21. Beware of him, and obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. 23. For mine angel shall go before thee, and bring thee in unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And I will cut them off. 24. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them, and quite break down their images. There are at least 3 observations that should be made while reading the above verses, and they are indicated in bold type. His angel has his name in him. As we have seen, for many of his servants his angel acts, which corresponds to his right hand, and the idolaters will be utterly destroyed. These are even prophetic of the time when the lake of fire will come about. It is symbolic of his host. Psalms 21:9. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Revelation 20:15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. 3. The hedge. Hosea 2, verse 1. Say ye unto your brethren, Ami, and to your sisters, Ruhamah. 2. Plead with your mother, plead. For she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts. 3. Lest I strip her naked, and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. 4. And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. 5. For their mother hath played the harlot, she that conceived them hath done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, that give me my bread, and my water my wool, and my flax mine oil, and my drink. 6. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns, and make a wall, that she shall not find her paths. 2 Samuel 23:6. But the sons of Belial shall be all of them, as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. 7. But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron, and the staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burned with fire in the same place. We will see these thorns again, but suffice it say, they are symbolic, and recall the crucifixion. They placed a crown of thorns on his head, not only to mock him, but as an insult. Also, note that the man must be fitted for battle, not just protected against the barbs, with gloves to be able to touch them. 4. The hand of Yah, the celebrated one of Yah. Deuteronomy 7:8. But because the Lord loved you, and because you would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. See also Isaiah 14. 5. Tilled under. Jeremiah 26:18. Micah the Morasthite prophesied in the days of Hezekiah king of Judah, and spake to all the people of Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Zion shall be plowed like a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of a forest. Ezekiel 36:33. Thus saith the Lord God, In the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquities, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the wastes shall be builded. 34. And the desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it lay desolate, in the sight of all that pass by. 35. And they shall say, This land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden, and the waste and desolate, and ruined cities are become fenced, and are inhabited. 6. Less than nothing. Isaiah 34:12. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. 13. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons, and a court for owls. Isaiah 41:28. For I beheld, and there was no man, even among them, and there was no counselor, that, when I asked of them, could answer a word. 29. Behold, they are all vanity, their works are nothing, their molten images are wind and confusion. 7. Juice of the grape. Isaiah 63:3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Revelation 14:18. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. 19. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. The word Goliath is also interesting. It is a compound of Gol and Yath, giving Goliath in the Hebrew. These syllables are defined as Gol, a cup for oil, and Yath, self, even namely, whom. Goliath itself is defined as exile, and the root is denude, stripped, begone. The Gol component is right next to gal in Strong's, which is defined as heap of stones or dung. Realizing that Goliath is symbolic of a seemingly unconquerable foe, and is a member of the idolatrous society that God intends to destroy, we can see the ironic, bitter humor of the suggestion that he is nothing more than a pile of dung, one who will go into exile himself, as one who speaks with a tongue of oil, meaning smooth speech, to deceive whoever will allow it. While the story of David and Goliath is also symbolic, this study is an example of how, if we peel back the surface of the Scriptures and examine the foundation, we can extract a message that is repeated over and over. Those who fall away and do not return will be consumed and gone forever. And we can connect the deeper interpretations to the Scriptures, which ties them all together, to give a more cohesive view of the Word. Thus, with so many warnings, there will be no excuses and no regrets when His consuming fire is ignited. There are more messages we can extract from the verses in 1 Samuel, and perhaps a future article will do so. But for now, we will move on to another subject.